We're back on day 25. The subject of the day is the Revelation Roadmap um, as the final step to the stack. Like, what are we going to extract um, in the light? What are we going to extract? What lessons are we going to learn? Um, so, the first question is that we have to answer, obviously, is what is a revelation? Like, once we've extracted a revelation through the process of the stack, I have to identify what is the revelation? What have I learned? What is the nugget? What is the gold piece that I can apply, um, throughout my life? And the what am I going to apply in reassessing my roadmap and where I'm going to take this? The question is, what is your reaction to the revelation? Now, this is an important question for me because I often have a reaction that is sometimes inhibiting, right? Like I have a reaction to this thing, and I'm even though it's real and I've just created it and it's in front of me. There's times where I'm super excited. I'm like, shit, like why didn't I get this earlier, right? And there's times where I'm like, what the fuck? Because it is so maybe against what I've always believed. Maybe I feel slightly that it's maybe an attack on my character, or possibly that I've wasted a bunch of time, and I don't like that feeling like I've wasted a portion of my life, right? So it's like, and we want to pay special attention to your reaction. Like, how do you react to this new truth? Are you in denial? Can you embrace it? Like, and just like we do earlier, we want to embrace all of the emotions and access all of the emotions that come with that, which is, how do you feel? And secondly, once you kind of taken it in through the heart, like, okay, I'm taking in the radar, this is how I feel, and then you kind of take the whole question to your head, right? Like, what do I think? What do I think about it? Like, take this into account. I felt this. Like, what do I think? What do I consciously think? How can I apply this? And once you do that, like you kind of ease into a place where you say, okay, what do you see as the next step of action? Like, what is the next action step? Because in this whole process, this isn't a process of just learning or theorizing or planning or anything. This is a step of action, right? This whole thing is to take action in a positive direction. So, um, once you lay out the action step, okay, in other words, we call it a roadmap. Like, I'm going to go down this path. This is my action. Here's my goal. I see this path from here to here. Here's the next action I'm going to take to get where I'm going to go. We want to consider the dangers that you might see possible in executing this roadmap. Like, what are the obstacles between here and there? Um, and how will you overcome the obstacles? Right? So this is more a game of once you get into the light and you create the revelation. Um, this isn't just the uh, creation of a concept, right? Once we get the concept, and we don't want to theorize the thing to death, right? We want to take this concept to creation, right? And part of the creation is like, okay, I'm going to build this, but what are the obstacles? And we have to consciously ask ourselves, what these obstacles might be. And again, because this is a process of action, we want to know if we're doing it right. We can't just say, well, I'm going to go down the road to the north, right? Because that's an indecisive action. This is not our goal. This is not a simple action. We want to actually come to a yes or no answer. Was this complete? Yes or no. How will I know I've completed the roadmap? How will I know I've arrived? And we wanted to break that down. So you take the mush, I guess you want to call it, out of the answer, right? We want to break that down to a yes or no answer at the end of the game. So, um, once again, to recap, we want to take into account what is your revelation. We want to be clear on what is my revelation, what is the nugget that I'm taking with, and we want to define this, not like, what I feel different. I kind of feel like maybe it's this. No, we want to black and white it, yes or no. This is my revelation in precise language. so we can carry that in our suitcase without a bunch of baggage of emotion and so on. We want to isolate that, and we want to be conscious of our awareness to in our own reaction to the revelation. Like, and the reason I do this is because I don't want to reject it. Right? Once I have this revelation, I have it. This, I don't want my feelings to creep up later, and subconsciously actually invalidate the revelation I've just had because I'm not comfortable with it. Maybe I've got some other feelings. I want to address those before I put it in my suitcase and take it with me. Um, and then we want to apply it, right? We want to aggressively apply it. We want to be able, I guess I want to relate it to trusting our instruments. Like how am I going to apply this tool to my roadmap? What are the obstacles? I guess I use what we used to call a SWOT test. What are the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats of this roadmap, and I want to address those right in the beginning, and how I'm going to overcome the weakness or the threats or the obstacles in this game. So assignment once again is to teach this. If you can't teach it, you don't know it. And if you don't know it, you can't live it. Fill out the remaining items at the bottom of the page, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow.